There is no doubt that our road will be long, that our climb will be steep. But never forget that the true character of our nation is revealed not during times of comfort and ease. But by the right we do when the moment is hard. I ask you to help reveal that character once more, and together. We can carry forward as one nation, and one people, the legacy of our forefathers that we celebrate today. Thank you, America. God bless you. Barack Obama. Town Hall address at Lorain County Community College. Delivered January 22, 2010, Elyria, Ohio. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ohio. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Please relax. We're going to be here for a little bit. Everybody take a seat if you have a seat. It is great to see you. Can everybody please give Jody a big round of applause for the introduction. Everybody is a special guest, but we've got a few that I just want to mention. First of all, obviously you've got one of the finest governors in the country in Ted Strickland. Please give him a round of applause. My former colleague when he was in the Senate. Nobody fights harder for working people than Sherrod Brown. Give him a big round of applause. We've got a dynamo pair of members of the House of Representatives. Who are so committed to their districts and committed to the state. Betty Sutton and Marcy Kaptur. I have been having just a wonderful time here in town, and your mayor has just been a really nice person. He and I shared a burger over at Smitty's. Give Bill Grace a big round of applause. And somebody who I'm hugely impressed with because I'm just so impressed with this institution. And his leadership obviously has been critical to it. Dr. Ray Church, your school president here at Lorain County Community College. Well, listen, it is great to be here in Elyria. Thank you so much for the great hospitality, the wonderful reception. Look, it's just nice being out of Washington, let me say. I mean, there are some nice people in Washington, but it can drive you crazy. Am I wrong, Sherrod? For 2 years, I had the privilege of traveling across this country. And I had a chance to talk to people like you, and go to diners and sit in barber shops. And hear directly about the challenges that all of you are facing in your lives. And the opportunities that you're taking advantage of, and all the things that we face together as a nation. And the single hardest thing, people ask me this all the time, the single hardest thing about being president is that it's harder for me to do that nowadays. It's harder to get out of the bubble. I mean, don't get me wrong, the White House is a wonderful place to work. You live above the store, which means I've got a very short commute. I see my daughters before they go to school, and I see them at night for dinner. even if I have to go back down to the office. And that makes everything so much better. But the truth is, this job is a little confining, and that is frustrating. I can't just go to the barbershop or sit in a diner. I can't always visit people directly. This is part of the reason why I've taken to the practice of reading 10 letters. Out of the 40,000 that I get, every night, just so that I can stay in touch and hear from you. But nothing beats a day where I can make an escape. I break out. And so I appreciate the chance to come here and spend a day. Before I came here, I visited the EMC precision machining plant. I saw the great clean energy job training program here at Lorain County Community College. And I'm obviously thrilled to be able to spend some time with you. Audience, we love you. Obama, I love you back. Thank you. Now, look, let's be honest. These are difficult and unsettling times. They're difficult times here in Illyria, they're tough in Ohio, they're tough all across the country. I walked into office a year ago in the middle of a raging economic storm. That was wreaking devastation on your town and communities everywhere. We had to take some very difficult steps to deal with that mess. To stave off an even greater economic catastrophe. We had to stabilize the financial system, which, given the role of the big banks in creating this mess, was a pretty tough pill to swallow. I knew it would be unpopular, and rightly so. But I also knew that we had to do it, because if they went down, your local banks would have gone down. And if the financial system went down, it would have taken the entire economy and millions more families and businesses with it. We would have been looking at a second Great Depression. So in my first months in office, we also had to save two of the big three automakers from a liquidation bankruptcy, complete collapse. Some people weren't happy about that, either. I understand that. They felt like if you're in a business, you make a bad decision, you ought to reap the consequences, just like any business would. The problem was, if we let GM and Chrysler simply go under, hundreds of thousands of Americans would have been hurt. Not just at those companies themselves, but at auto suppliers and other companies and dealers here in Michigan. Up in here in Ohio, up in Michigan, all across this country. So we said, if you're willing to take some tough and painful steps to make yourself more competitive, we're willing to invest in your future. And earlier this week, we heard that the auto industry planned to make almost 3 million cars and trucks here. In North America in the next 3 months, which is up 69% from the first 3 months of last year. We also passed a Recovery Act to pull our economy back from the brink. Now, there's been a lot of misunderstanding about this Recovery Act. Sherrod and Marcy and Betty and I were talking about this on the way over here. If you ask the average person, what was the Recovery Act, the stimulus package, they'd say, the bank bailout. So let me just be clear here, the Recovery Act was cutting taxes for 95%. Of working families, 15 different tax cuts for working families. Seven different tax cuts for small businesses so they can start up and grow and hire. The Recovery Act was extending and increasing unemployment insurance and making COBRA available. At a cheaper rate for people who had lost their jobs so they could keep their health care. We gave aid directly to states to help them through tough times. Ted can testify the help that it provided to the Ohio budget so we wouldn't have to lay off teachers and firefighters and police officers all across the state. And we made the largest investment in infrastructure since the creation of the interstate highway system. Putting Americans to work rebuilding our roads, bridges, waterways, doing the work that America needs to be done. Now, today, because we took those actions, the worst of this economic storm has passed. But families like yours and communities like this one are still reeling from the devastation it left in its wake. At one of the companies, at EMC, where I went today, wonderful company. Passed on through generations, they have hung on with their precision manufacturing, high value added. They can do things that can't be shipped off to China because they're so attuned to their customers' needs. But they had 77 employees, now they've got 44 They want to start hiring back, but it's going to take a little time. The good news is they're starting to see orders pick up just a little bit. But it's tough. Folks have seen jobs you thought would last forever disappear. You've seen plants close and businesses shut down. I've heard about how the city government here is starting to cut into bone, not just fat. You can't get to work or go buy groceries like you used to because of cuts in the county transit system. And this all comes after one of the toughest decades our middle class has faced in generations. I mean, think about what's happened over the last 10 years, even before the crisis hit. This is a decade where some folks made tons of money, but so many others were just pedaling faster and faster. But they were stuck in the same place, sometimes slipping behind. The average wage, the average income over the last decade actually flatlined. In some cases went down. That was before the crisis. So, for many of you, even as you found your paychecks shrinking, even as after the crisis you found the value of your biggest asset, your home, falling, the cost of everything else has gone up. The cost of groceries, the cost of sending your kids to college, costs of retirement. And you've also faced the breakneck, unrelenting climb of costs for your healthcare needs. Now, here's the message I want you to take away, and we're going to have a lot of time for questions. But I want to make this absolutely clear. I did not run for president to turn away from these challenges. I didn't run to kick these challenges down the road. I ran for president to confront them once and for all.